everyone, and welcome to today's SwiftCase Productivity Podcast. My name's Adam Sykes, founder of SwiftCase, the professional productivity platform, and today I've got with me
Phil Whitby, developer at SwiftCase.
And Craig McCarthy, development manager at SwiftCase.
Okay, great. So today we were talking about how you can increase your business sort of reach without specifically using adverts. Mm-hmm. So how can you sort of grow your business? I suppose the business you've already got as a starting point rather than looking for new business itself.
Well, I think the big thing is not everyone has a big advertising budget to get their product or business off the ground. So, I mean, to me, organic reach is always the best, at least starting off with. And I know also we didn't, when we were first starting SwiftCase and things like that, we didn't plonk a load of money into AdWords or anything like that. Instead, I think you've kind of got to just start at home and then figure out your marketing plan, get your social aspects in order, and then kind of go from there, really. I mean, to me, nothing is better for advertising your business than word of mouth. So if you've got customers already on board that you're dealing with, I think getting reviews from them is really important, and getting them onto websites, and you've got something to point to then, because then eventually when you do end up using adverts, you've got all these credentials to show how good you are, and if people, word spread around and people are using you, then great, they can see all the credibility that you've got, really, and all the positive feedback that you've received. So I think getting everything in order there first, like making sure your website's great, making sure all your social media channels are fantastic, then getting reviews out there is always a good starting point, and probably a good alternative than plonking down the money on ads.
Well, I mean, the Fire Festival thing springs to mind immediately, where they put the cart before the horse, got the advertising sleek, all the advertising was fantastic. They had a social media campaign as well, but mostly it was traditional, buy your celebrities, get your models, aspirational thing. And really, it couldn't have worked out any worse than it did for those guys. But I think that's a really good example of starting with upside down. They needed to make a legitimate product before they started worrying about. But I mean, I in my personal experience with my photography business years ago, I can't remember how much I paid for Facebook adverts, and I did get loads of likes on that, and I got a few inquiries, but the quality of those leads was so incredibly poor.
That's what I feel like. I think if you don't know what you're doing with it, I'm not saying you didn't know what you were doing.
I didn't. I'll just draw. I'll try this.
But you don't know who your customer is.
Exactly. You've got to work all that stuff out first, and it's not one of those where you can kind of, I've started this new business, great, I've got this advertising budget, fantastic, I'm going to get all these, all the adverts for the advertisements are all saying it's going to reach 50,000 people, but if they're not the right people, what's that? You've just wasted all your money,
and it's not the right message to the right people.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why I am a strong believer in viral content and that sort of stuff as well, because if you think about viral content, realistically, it's stuff that normal people have made half the time. That's kind of just gone wild, hasn't it?
I wonder though, my opinion is that viral
you had an experience with this years ago, actually.
So viral, went something viral, and I got messages and things like that, but nothing really came because it wasn't really from a business perspective. It was just a photograph.
Just It
was quite a nice photo, and it was funny, it went viral. But I wonder whether viral success can be like just buying adverts, because you end up getting a lot of people making inquiries that are poor leads and waste your time. And also their expectation of what you pitch to them is so much higher. So I had people saying, all right, I want you to photograph my wedding, give me examples of the albums that you've done, blah blah blah, and they were obviously cancelling a lot of people. And so maybe my level of albums that I produced, or I think the designs and the prices wasn't great for them, so they just went, forget it. But I wasted my time doing that pitch.
Because it wasn't the customer for you.
Yeah, exactly. And it was whereas I've got plenty of weddings, all of them word of mouth, with no advertising, and people very rarely asked me to prove myself because I'd proved myself through the recommendation.
Yeah.
So it was all very little work, but like, we really want you. How much does it cost? Great, thanks.
Yeah.
And so obviously the word of mouth was incredibly effective, even though it didn't produce lots.
Yeah.
The quality of clients that I did have were much more trusting. The relationship was better. The assumptions about my capacity to deliver were much higher, much more realistic, and well,
evangelists,
much more.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're the key.
Straight away, I was like, oh, great, and then they were looking for me to do what I liked to do. They weren't coming and going, oh, we want you to photograph it, but we want you to do it this way.
Yeah.
Which is what people expect when they see you through an advert. They
Yeah.
expect all this kind of adaptability by you, bend over backwards for me, because I'm the paying customer. Not so when it's word of mouth at all.
Yeah, I suppose it's very similar to when we first started out, actually, at SwiftCase, when like a few of our first customers, they'd actually just shout all about it to other businesses, saying like, oh, I've got this amazing system, let me show you it, and they're like, oh, well, that's exactly what we need. And that's so
it's like discovering a new
powerful.
band, isn't it? It's like discovering a new band and thinking, I've discovered them. It's me. And it's like,
gives them social credit for being able to pass on that information that helps someone else, doesn't it?
They're the source.
But I think, certainly online reviews are just the online equivalent of word of mouth, aren't they? And they're even better if they're third party. If they're not on your website, they're on a review website that's seen as a trusted independent resource. It's good. And I suppose the way you can get to that, if you haven't, you want to get your first customers in, is you're going to have to do some stuff almost for free.
Exactly.
The free trial. There's a reason why when you go into supermarkets and especially somewhere like Costco as well, there's a reason they get you to taste it. Once you've had that trial, you're so much more likely to go with the product or the service than you are if whatever flashy advertising that you put in front of someone. If someone's actually tasted it, they've tried it, they know what it's like. And they also feel like you've given them something.
Absolutely.
So they feel like a
do someone a favour, and then they
owe you a favour back. At least to try it. At least to give it a fair shot. Whereas with an advert, they don't owe you anything. People as well are used to sort of blanking out adverts. I think we've got very good at ignoring advertising.
Absolutely.
It's a bit like you're a suitor. If you put an advert out there, you're like a suitor to that person. You're going along and saying, I would like to be considered. And if they're not necessarily looking for it, they're going to be much more judgmental about if you're happy in the relationship they've got with otherwise. But so if you're not getting people that are actively looking, then it's so much harder to leverage those people out of their current situation, isn't it? And with adverts, that's what you're doing. You're basically going into everyone and saying, I would like to be considered.
It's that idea we talked about before, marketing to your tribe, isn't it? Really, into the people that feel and want to.
I think we don't want to get away from the fact there is a good argument for having adverts that are targeted to a specific audience.
That's it.
If you can narrow it down and then also have that advert land on a page that is messaging, its messaging is geared to those same people to take them through a process towards finally becoming a customer, then I think there's a market for that.
That's right. Yeah.
But I think it's the idea
more
of
richer than an advert per se. An advert is the tip of that spear, isn't it?
You can't just. It's the blanket advert. Let's put it in the newspaper and get a full page spread that goes to everyone in a geographical area. It's unless you want to just show off and go, I've got a business, look at my advert.
That's it.
Or you are a geographical business. If you're the new barber in a specific town and you want to let people know that you've opened and you exist. Then that might be a way to do it rather than a global business is not going to you're not going to market in a local paper.
It's like when you Google. To be fair, on the phones, I feel like I can't remember it now in like my mind's eye. But when you Google something now, I feel like I'm a lot more likely on my phone to click the ad link at the top because it is literally the first result. And they don't make it massively obvious like they used to. I'm sure it used to be just blue, like a big blue, big blue, and I used to be like, oh, well, great.
Now just
skip those,
But now, usually it's got quite good in the way that it's usually the result I actually want. Even if it's like a question I'm searching for, or like some, something along those lines, it'll always kind of give me the thing that I actually want. So I think really doing your research over your audience, and the messages that you kind of want to put out there.
Yeah, it's really interesting what you were saying about the barber though, because that made me think, I could imagine a barber convincing himself he needed to really funnel down and find only men that had long hair or hadn't had the haircut in 2 months or whatever, and like doing extensive market research to only target adverts to those people that he knew would need their haircut soon. Whereas what you're saying is, well, actually he just needs to cover that geographical area.
Because I think I suppose that's a question you're targeting now. Sometimes people may get confused on who is the person who ends up with the product, or who the product's for, and who's the person you need to convince to get the sale, because that might not necessarily be the same person. A barber's a good example. Like my wife will take my son to get his haircut at a barber, so no point at targeting preschool boy or primary school boy to get his haircut. Is that they're the person who ultimately gets their haircut, but my wife might take him, I might take him. I won't get my haircut, my wife might say to me, you need your haircut, go to this guy. There's a new barber, he looks good. It could be anyone. So you do have to think that the person who you're targeting with your advert is not necessarily the person who wants the end product. And I think the flip side of that, I suppose, is like children's advertising, where they advertise to children and then use children to get at their parents. Because parents are buying it, it's for the child, but they leverage it that way. So there's different ways you've got to look at things.
That's very interesting.
But I think, go on.
I was going to say, because it made me think that when you look at children's snacks, obviously the parents are buying the children's snacks. So they're all going to have this very healthy fruit, natural angle, even though effectively it's still the rolled up processed sugar.
They look fun.
It's like, or it's vaguely kind of...
The sugar came from fruit, so it's okay.
Exactly, even though it's like... And the kid will eat it and go, oh great, I'm getting my sugar hit. And the parent will go, oh, that's healthy, vaguely. So I'm absolved from having to worry about it.
So it is interesting how you can place products.
It was the way Sunny Delight years ago, and that was awful for you, wasn't it? But we used to get it.
People went orange, didn't they? Was that fake news?
I don't know. It doesn't matter, because the damage of the sugar in it is so extensive, isn't it? Like soft drinks are the leading cause.
I think it's shaved about 5 years off my life.
I never had it.
If you put any weight on you, Craig, I don't know where it went.
No,
it went
it's gone now.
It took many years of detox. But that was the same. That you're spot on about that, because that was always advertised in a way like, oh, it's high.
Hey kids, exactly.
It was splattered all over it, because it's not. I mean, the advert was quite fun, but that was advertising to the parents, wasn't it?
Because kids aren't going dual advert, isn't it?
Kids aren't going, oh great, I'm going to be healthy, because kids don't care about that whatsoever.
Sunny day. I'm going to basically get high if I drink this. Which is basically what most of those adverts.
Okay, so we talk about adverts. I suppose the other way you can grow your business is to market. I suppose not market, but speak to your current clients, because your current clients might actually want more products, a wider service from you, and you can grow from the clients you've actually already got, because it's much easier to get a current client who already trusts you to spend more money with you on a service that you can add on to add value to your current products or services than it is to find a new client from elsewhere using advertising.
So Netflix used to be £5 a month. They've now upgraded. You can then have a tiered upgrade to like £11 or £10 now. So they basically doubled their from loyal customers who are like, I just want actually more people to be able to watch it on my thing and have quality HD. So they've kind of scaled up well. But I think they're probably hitting a ceiling now. I think they're pushing it towards like where people, especially what we talked about in a previous episode, where people are going to push back against the fact that, well, that's fair enough if it was just paying for Netflix, but if I'm paying for multiple services, you've taken it too far. But you can see our other podcasts.
I think a good example about this, again, it kind of goes hand in hand with what we were just saying, is kind of offering your existing customers something for referring someone else as well. That's another really good way. Like they get £5 off this product, and you get £5 off your subscription or something like that if you share this link and they sign up or something like that. I suppose that's really handy as well if you actually sell an actual product or something. So I'm thinking like, imagine, I don't know, wedding stationery for example. It's not the kind of thing where you'd get, unless you get married multiple times, you could sell to them again. But you could say, oh, you're an existing customer of mine. I've got this offer where if you refer someone, they'll get 10% off. Something like that.
Yeah. I think that happens informally anyway. Those kind of things, you kind of go, oh, because you're a friend, that's fine.
Yeah, but it's another way, isn't it, of using the people that you've worked with in the past to get more custom.
Okay, great. So there's a few examples we went through of how you can expand, and how, I suppose, if you are going to use adverts, how you need to target them and make sure that the messaging attached actually appeals to people who are ready to buy your product and are a good fit for you as a company, and you're a good fit for them. But if you've got any other ideas about ways to grow your business without just advertising in media or social media, then please drop them in the comments below. And
I actually have an advert myself right now. I'm going to direct you to swiftcase.co.uk, an ad-free site for now. And don't forget to head to @SwiftCaseUK on all the social media channels for all our updates.
Brilliant, and don't forget to subscribe, click the little bell to see more.
Okay, thanks everyone for listening to the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast, and we'll see you again next time.